There is one more full day to get ready ahead of what is anticipated to be that major winter storm. With dangerous conditions on the roads, areas in the River Valley could see a wintry mix of sleet and snow. 5 News reporter Laura Castleman talked with leaders in Fort Smith and in Crawford County about plan of action as the storm moves in, including something brand new.
City and county crews are gearing up for the first big snowfall of the season, expecting several inches of snow. First step of winter road prep, pre-treating the roadways.
Make sure roadways don't get covered in ice as best we can beforehand. And then, we're prepared with plow trucks.
In Crawford County, they're doing something brand new. Crawford County Judge Chris Keith says they're adding a liquid pre-treatment on the pavement.
We're going to start doing that this week, and then we're just getting all the equipment together and ready, all of our cinder trucks and our cinders and salt and everything stored.
Keith says county leaders are keeping a close eye on the forecast, knowing things can change.
We've got quite a bit of material, but we're getting a lot of snowfall, so we're going to have to probably be plowing roads 2 or 3 times.
Crawford County leaders say they've got 50,000 pounds of salt and near 500 tons of cinders to help tackle the snow and potential ice.
We'll load the cinder trucks up and go out and start plowing roads. We have 5 cinder trucks, and we also have 9 road graders that we use as well, peeling the snow and ice and stuff off of the roads.
Over in Fort Smith, city leaders say they'll have crews out and around the clock pre-treating and clearing the roads when the snow falls.
People are constantly surprised at how quickly we're able to clear the roads. It's because we have a strategy, and we make sure we follow that strategy every single time.
But Fink says crews will start with bridges and overpasses, followed by the city's main streets. Neighborhood streets will be last to be cleared. Once the winter precipitation starts, officials are urging people to stay off the roads if at all possible. Covering news where you live, Laura Castleman, 5 News.
All right, Laura, thanks. Preparations underway in Northwest Arkansas as well. Washington County leaders told us today they've stocked up on all the supplies they need. Their plows are fueled up and all ready to go. Talked to Benton County leaders who also told us they have started pre-treating roads with salt. They say they're starting with the more outward parts and then working their way toward the more trafficked spots.
They are doing just paved roads with that salt brine mixture. If we put salt brine down on our dirt roads, they become mush, which is the opposite of what we want, because then that creates more potholes. And so after the crews get done pre-treating, we're just going to be kind of in a wait and see.
RDOT told us today it's pre-treating every bridge and overpass statewide as quickly as they can. Since road conditions are likely going to be impacted, we're curious how local businesses are getting ready for a slowdown of weekend customers. Went to Fort Smith, talked to the downtown corner market today. They say they'll still be open during the weekend as long as conditions are safe, but they did say customers should start their shopping now.
Plan ahead and shop early if you can, as we are already seeing increased demand for staples like milk, bread, eggs, and meat, and we're actively working to keep our shelves stocked with those items.
Market's winter hours 11 to 5 through the rest of the week, but they will not be open on Sunday and Monday. We want to remind you of the warming center resources available in this region. Johnson County just recently activated warming centers there in Clarksville. Salvation Army centers in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas will also be open for those in need. You can find more information by texting the word warm to the number there on your screen, 785-5000. We will send you back a link to our coverage. Amber Waterman was back in a Benton County courtroom today. She's the woman accused of kidnapping and killing a woman and her unborn baby. Motions filed by her defense attorneys were discussed at today's hearing as a new judge takes over the proceedings. Judge most notably denied to toss the death penalty in this case. Judge also ruled to exclude Waterman's federal conviction and guilty plea from the state case. She'll be back in court in April. Meanwhile, we've been following the developments involving the U of A Law School. School hired a new dean, but then took back that offer after feedback from, quote, key external stakeholders. Well, today we got a statement from Emily Susky, the woman who was set to be the new dean. She said, "I'm disappointed and hurt by the university's decision to rescind my contract. I've been informed that the decision was not in any way a reflection of my qualifications to serve as dean, but rather the result of influence from external individuals. Law students held a protest yesterday against Husky's offer being rescinded. Some state lawmakers called the decision, quote, politically motivated. New at 10 tonight, heavy immigration enforcement continues in Minneapolis and across the country today. At the Arkansas state capitol, the head of the state police faced questions on how immigration laws are being enforced here in Arkansas. Carter Thweet breaks down how he responded.
I wanted to ensure, number one, that it was being handled, but it was carefully being handled for the citizens of Arkansas.
State Senator Fred Love, who's also running for governor, attended a subcommittee meeting Wednesday for a committee that he's not on. It's because the topic was of high interest. Director of State Police Mike Hager spoke to lawmakers on ASP's role in enforcing federal immigration laws.
We're not an immigration enforcement agency, so we are in an assisting role only on that.
That means ASP officers can't detain someone because they might be an illegal immigrant. They have to be suspected of another crime first. Lieutenant Colonel Jason Aaron says if they then show up in ICE's system, ASP can detain them, but ICE will have to take it from there.
If it's an illegal immigrant wanted on criminal charges, then ICE would be notified at that time, and it's their decision on whether or not what to do with that person at that point.
These situations aren't common. Since September, state police have notified ICE of a potential illegal immigrant 48 times. That's roughly one every 3 days anywhere in the state, which goes along with Hager's statement that Arkansas isn't a priority for ICE.
They assign the resources in the places where it's more of an issue. In Arkansas, the resources that have been dedicated to Arkansas are very minimal. Because I don't think that we have the problem here that we do in a lot of, population hubs around the country.
Hager says while that number is growing, it's still smaller than a lot of other states. Senator Love and Representative Jack Ladyman, who both asked questions during the hearing, say it's an issue they'll continue to follow, albeit from different perspectives.
You need to have trained officers so that you can retain those people because you want to protect your community and you don't want that bad element coming in.
There may be criminals, but not everybody here is a criminal. And I want to make sure that humanity is being observed.
That was Carter Thweet reporting. Now, Colonel Hager also stressed troopers have discretion, and similar to any police officer or deputy giving a ticket or speeding, they can make their own decisions about whether to detain someone or when to notify ICE.